evening. It's Saturday the 10th of December. It's just past 6 o'clock and welcome to our weekly news programme. I hope you are tucked up in the warm at home. And in the news this week, the committee considering the planning application from Powerful Portland Limited has delayed its decision and is now unlikely to consider the application for the waste incinerator on Portland until March 2023. The council recently published the consultation responses to the application and from the feedback from its landscape architect, and is awaiting completion of the appropriate assessment under the habitat regulations from the applicant. As a result, the applicant has asked for more time to consider these conclusions and comment if appropriate. Other interested parties can also read the landscape architect's response on the Dorset Council website and make their own comments. This means the application will no longer be considered by the Dorset Council Strategic and Technical Planning Committee on the 22nd of December as planned. Train operators at Great Western Railway and South Western Railways are both warning of significant disruption to rail services during the rest of December and through January. But they expect that trains in the week before Christmas will continue to operate. Trade unions have announced industrial action, including strike action and action just short of strikes over December and January, that will affect rail services from the 13th to the 18th of December and from the 24th of December through to the 8th of January. Those wishing to travel by train are recommended to check the GWR and SWR websites or national rail inquiries before making any travel arrangements. And if you've already purchased tickets, you should contact the train companies to arrange replacements or refunds if those tickets can only be used on days when strikes happen. Now, Barclays Bank has announced it will close its Weymouth branch in St Mary Street for the last time on Friday, March the 3rd, 2023 at 12 noon. A Barclays spokesperson said our customers' behaviour has changed significantly in recent years, with the majority now choosing to bank online. This is reflected at the Weymouth branch, and as we adapt, we are finding new ways to support our customers by maintaining our community presence with options for customers who still require in-person support. Now, local councillor John Orella said, "I'm very concerned about the loss of a high street bank in Weymouth. We have the most deprived people in Dorset living close by. They depend on face-to-face contact. It is not acceptable that they will be forced to use costly indirect means of contact. A fair number of older people do not use the internet or mobile banking." The closure of the Weymouth branch of Barclays comes 4 years after the Bridport branch was shut for good. A spokesman for Barclays added, "In Weymouth we plan to open a Barclays Local, a pop-up cashless banking site where customers can meet a colleague face-to-face for banking support as they would in a branch and without the need to travel. We are currently working with the local community to identify a suitable location and will announce details once confirmed. We do not intend to make anyone redundant as a direct result of this closure." Of course, for customers wanting to make everyday transactions, they can do these at a post office. They can pay in money and withdraw money, and the closest post office is located at 87 St Thomas Street in Weymouth. Now, on a happier note, this Christmas, Weymouth Town Council is helping to light up the town centre over the festive period. As well as supplying and installing the tree and lights for the recent Christmas light up switch on, Weymouth Town Council has put up low energy festive LED lighting throughout the town. The low watt LED lamps will reduce electricity consumption from previous load of 30 kilowatts down to 3 kilowatts because they are more efficient. Weymouth Town Council continues to work with suppliers and other organisations who recognise the importance of improving the carbon footprint across Weymouth excuse me, and encourages everyone to reduce and recycle their output over the festive period where possible. Now, from Weymouth Town Council now to Dorset County Council, a gold award has been given to Dorset Council as part of the Ministry of Defence Employer Recognition Scheme at a recent official ceremony in Dartmouth. Councillor David Walsh, Armed Forces Champion for Dorset Council, Kevin Moore, Programme Coordinator for Dorset Armed Forces Covenant Programme, and Laura Cornett, Business Partner for Communities and Partnerships at Dorset Council, attended the ceremony. Representing the highest badge of honour, the MOD bestows the Gold Award to businesses and organisations which go the extra mile to demonstrate their commitment to aiding and employing members of the military community. The Council previously held a Silver Award bestowed in 2021. To achieve the Gold Award, the Council has developed a number of initiatives to encourage and support employees who are veterans, reservists and cadet force adult volunteers, as well as spouses and partners of those serving in the armed forces. Achieving the Gold Award is part of Dorset Council's pledge through the Armed Forces Covenant to ensure those who serve or have served in the armed forces and their families are treated with fairness and respect in their communities, economy and society. Now, the Dorset History Centre has been asking people how they use or would use their services in future, and they've just completed a survey. The survey will form part of an application to the National Lottery Heritage Fund to extend the archive stores, improve public facilities and offer outreach services. Dorset History Centre in Dorset is the publicly funded archive service for Dorset and Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council. It holds 1,000 years of the county's written history, held within thousands of varied collections. Now, some of those collections include photographs from local photographer Graham V. Herbert, the archives of writers Thomas Hardy and William Barnes, the Dame Elizabeth Frink collection, the Banks archive from Kingston Lacey, including William John Banks' notebooks that help crack the code of the hieroglyphics. The Dorset History Centre gives free access to thousands of original maps, books, letters and photographs. There is also an opportunity to discover your family history with free access to Ancestry.com, parish and newspaper collections. There are also resource packs that can be used by schools and other groups. One of these packs is Image in the Past, that can include conversation prompts for those affected by mild to moderate dementia and their carers. Now, turning to Dorset Police, officers investigating an attempted burglary at an address in Weymouth are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. It was reported that an attempt was made to force entry into a property in West Hill Road, Wyke, Regis, between 7 p.m. on Monday the 28th of November and 9:25 a.m. on Tuesday the 29th of November. It is not believed that entry was actually gained and nothing has been taken. Officers are also investigating a report of assault in Weymouth and are looking for people to help with the CCTV images of 3 men who they would like to speak to, and they're now up on the screen. At around 2 a.m. on Friday the 7th of October, a man aged in his 20s was in the Rendezvous in St Thomas Street and went to the toilet, where he engaged in conversation with 3 men. The man was then reportedly assaulted and sustained a black eye and a chipped tooth. Police Constable Mia Jakeman of Weymouth said, "We've obtained CCTV of 3 men we would like to speak to in connection with this incident and have made attempts to confirm their identities, but these have so far been unsuccessful." Detectives are also investigating an alleged assault in Weymouth and again appealing for witnesses or help with their inquiries. It was reported that around 3:40 a.m. on Wednesday the 7th of December, the victim, a man aged in his 60s, went to challenge a man and a woman who he believed were causing damage to vehicles in the area of Newstead Road near to the Asda supermarket. The man reportedly responded by pulling a bladed article from his coat and made threats to the victim. An altercation occurred and the victim sustained lacerations to his arm and other injuries. He was taken to hospital for treatment to injuries that are not believed to be life-threatening. Officers attended the scene and detained a man and a woman. The woman was reportedly found to be in possession of a bladed article. A 19-year-old man from Aldershot was arrested on suspicion of inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent, and a 19-year-old Weymouth woman was arrested on suspicion of possessing a bladed article in a public place. The arrested man was taken to hospital for treatment to a head injury that was not believed to be serious. Now, Detective Inspector Dave Horn of Weymouth CID said they'd like to hear from anyone with information, and of course anyone with CCTV or dashcam footage of that incident or the previous 2 incidents, of course, please contact Dorset Police either on the regular number 101, or if you wish to give information anonymously through the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Now, a new screening service is being launched in Dorset to identify lung conditions much earlier and to improve outcomes for patients. The targeted lung health check is part of a national initiative aimed at diagnosing and treating lung and breathing problems before they become serious. People aged 55 to 74 who are registered with the Dorset GP and are current or former smokers will be invited to have a lung health check. The programme will be rolled out across Dorset over the next 2 to 3 years, starting with Portland in fact, the end of last month, end of November. Dorset County Hospital is the lead provider for the programme, working with health partners throughout the county. Dr. Jenny Grays, who's a respiratory consultant at the hospital, says lung health checks are a really important check-up of the overall health of your lungs and can spot any early signs of lung problems, often before you notice anything is wrong. This means that if lung cancer or another problem with your breathing or lungs is found at an early stage, treatment could be simpler and more successful. You'll be invited to attend a lung health check appointment even if you feel fit and healthy and currently have no lung problems, or if you currently have a lung condition. Everyone who is eligible for one of these checks will receive an appointment for a telephone conversation to explain what is involved, and will then be booked in for a face-to-face appointment for the lung health check. At this, a nurse will ask you some questions about your breathing and overall lung health. They will also ask you about your lifestyle, family and medical history, and your height and weight will be taken along with a spirometry, that's a breathing test, and carbon monoxide levels. The nurse may also talk to you about having a low-dose CT scan of your lungs. If you're invited to a lung scan, you will be asked to travel to the appointments, which will be provided from either University Hospital Dorset at Poole or at Dorset County Hospital. For those that aren't eligible for lung health checks, it's still really important to look after your lungs by being active, stop smoking, eating healthily, and telling your GP about any of the following symptoms that are unusual for you. Now, here are the symptoms: a persistent cough or change in your normal cough, obviously not if it's related to COVID, coughing up blood, being short of breath, unexplained tiredness or weight loss, an ache or pain when breathing or coughing, or appetite loss. There we go. That's about the lung checks that are starting with Portland and being rolled out across Dorset. Now, there's been a confirmed case of avian influenza or bird flu near Dorchester. Letters have been sent out to households within 3-kilometre area to register details of any poultry or captive birds they keep, and to remind bird keepers of the special measures that are now in place. This area includes Broadmain, West Stafford and South Dorchester. Of course, if you don't keep birds and you get one of the letters, then you can obviously disregard it. The 3-kilometre zone is known as the disease control zone. Bird keepers must take special measures now to heighten biosecurity and keep birds safe from the disease and prevent further spreads. There is information online at www.gov.uk/guidance/avian-influenza-bird-flu. I'm sure if you search for gov.uk avian influenza or bird flu, you will get that website. Now, if you get one of these letters, the council staff want you to either complete a form online or to contact them on 01305 221 000, where they will gather some basic details. These details will be passed on to the Animal and Plant Health Agency to help their veterinary staff to assess the risk of avian influenza spread. And they may contact you to visit your address to carry out a visual inspection of the birds that you keep to assess their health. And they will contact you if they need to do this. Now, they asked to reassure you that the risk to public health from the virus is very low. However, it is important that people do not pick up sick or dead birds. So if you see any sick or dead birds, then obviously ring up and report them, but do not touch them. If you find a dead or sick bird, swans, geese, ducks, etc., or other dead wild birds such as gulls or birds of prey, you can call DEFRA and they will deal with it. You just give them details of where they are and they will send someone to collect them obviously they'll test them as well, and it helps with them tracking the disease. And the number is 03459 335577. That's 03459 335577, and you want option 7. Option 7. Now, local businesses are being reminded to keep their premises safe from fire in the final run-up to Christmas. Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service wants all local businesses to check their fire risk assessments and make changes to their processes if necessary. Among the risks that are being highlighted at this Christmas time to businesses are safe storage of additional stock so it doesn't block thoroughfares or doors, safe disposal of additional packaging such as cardboard, maintaining safe escape routes and fire exits, ensuring that temporary staff fully understand what they should do in the event of a fire, keeping decorations away from alarm sensors and anything that generates heat, and particularly not overloading plug sockets to accommodate lights and additional equipment, using proper extension leads with those sort of four-way strip extensions rather than using those plug-in block adapters, and making sure that appliances have been tested. Remember that this Christmas time, and keep yourself safe. Now, if you want to know more about safety, just go onto the Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue website at www.dwfire.org.uk and search for safety. There you will get lots of information on safety at Christmas time and of course at other times. Now, the Woodland Trust are saying, are you dreaming of a green Christmas? If so, you are not alone. With the cost of living crisis biting, a simpler, more environmentally friendly celebration is top of many people's Christmas list this year, with fresh air and free fun on the cards instead of expensive gifts, excess and waste. With that in mind, the Woodland Trust, the UK's largest woodland conservation charity, has come up with a guide to some of its best woods for a glorious and completely free winter walk for all the family to enjoy. And the picture on the screen now there sort of really reinforces that really fresh outside landscape we can enjoy at the moment. And particularly if you went out early this morning, it was very white everywhere, wasn't it? And very frosty, but very, very fresh and refreshing. Now, the Woodland Trust has more than 1,000 woods which are free to visit and open every day. So you're spoilt for choice. Even Santa and his reindeer could struggle to get round them all. That's what the Woodland Trust say. This Christmas is a perfect time to embrace the simpler things in life, whether this time spent with friends and loved ones, enjoying nature's magnificent scenery, or just getting outdoors and enjoying some fresh air. Woodland Trust sites are open all year round, so come prepared for nature in its natural state, unmissable views, clean air and birdsong. And by sticking to the woodland paths, you won't disturb the winter wildlife and you'll allow nature to thrive in its woodland surroundings. Now, if you fancy a walk over Christmas time, or in fact at any time, a weekend or during the week if you're retired or you don't work, just go to the Woodland Trust website and they have a section called Find a Wood. So we're looking for www.woodlandtrust.org.uk/find a wood, and then you will give you a list of all the woods near to where you live and how to find them, and you can enjoy one of those nice walks out in the fresh this Christmas or winter time. Now, the winter time is on us, as we've just said, and Public Health Dorset urges everyone to take extra care of themselves and one another whilst the temperatures are low. Across the county, colder temperatures are forecast, with both the Met Office and the UK Health and Security Agency warning that all regions in England will experience severe cold weather from this week, well, we've had it the last 2 days, haven't we, through to next week and beyond. Anyone can be affected by prolonged spells of cold weather. Colder weather brings with it increased risk of respiratory infections such as flu and COVID-19. And it's important that Dorset residents take action to help themselves and loved ones keep warm and safe during this cold spell. Now, they've issued some top tips for staying warm and safe during the cold weather. It says, try to heat the rooms you use to at least 18 degrees centigrade if you can, as this reduces the risk of health of someone wearing suitable winter clothing. Cold weather can have serious impact on health. It is therefore important to try and heat the rooms you use to at least 18 degrees, particularly if you have reduced mobility, are 65 and over, or have a health condition such as heart or lung disease. If you can't heat all the rooms you use, heat the living room during the day and your bedroom just before you go to sleep. Do not use a gas cooker or oven to heat your home. It's inefficient and there is a risk of carbon monoxide poisoning which can kill. And if you are not on mains gas or electricity, make sure you have a good supply of heating oil, LPG gas or solid fuel so you don't run out this winter. It says, going on, look after yourself and others. Keep your bedroom windows closed on a winter's night. Breathing cold air can increase the risk of chest infections. Keep moving if you can. This will keep you warm. Try not to sit around for too long, certainly no more than 1 hour. Get up, walk around, make a hot drink and do some housework to keep you active and mobile during the day. If anybody wants to do any housework, they're welcome to come and visit me. There's always plenty of housework to do. Now, wear a few layers of thin clothing rather than one thick layer. This will trap the heat better to keep you warm. Thin layers of clothes made from cotton, wool or fleecy fibres are particularly good at maintaining body heat. Check on frail or older neighbours or relatives, especially those living alone. Wear shoes with a good grip to prevent slips and falls. And make sure you have spare medication in case you're unable to go out. Now, there we go. If you need special advice on energy and energy efficiency, they are saying contact the Simple Energy Advice line on 0800 444 202. That's 0800 444 202. Goodness, a lot in the headlines tonight. And finally in the headlines tonight, Weymouth's MV Freedom, a charity-run boat for people living with disability, has received further funding for its good work from Weymouth Rotary. Once again, the monies the club were able to donate came from the successful return of Fair in the Square in the spring. And Dirk Alders, chairman and skipper from MV Freedom, attended one of the recent Rotary meetings held at Pilgrim House on Hope Square, Weymouth. Weymouth Rotary President David Langridge said, "We're thrilled to be able to continue our charitable support of the MV Freedom. It's so important that everybody has the opportunity to take to the water in our seafaring town. And we hope our latest donation helps to empower, encourage and create enjoyment for those living with disabilities." Dirk Alders from MV Freedom said, "Weymouth Rotary Club have been one of our staunchest supporters over many years, and once again we are hugely appreciative of yet another most generous donation to our funds. We do not receive any statutory funding and we have no paid staff, so at a time of rising costs every penny is very gratefully received. With over 2,900 bookings this season, the demand for beneficial seagoing trips from our very deserving passengers has never been higher." So thank you there to Weymouth Rotary and to MV Freedom. Keep up that good work. I'm sure you will be getting prepared for the new season when the spring hits us. Now that's the end of our headlines this evening. And our first feature this week. We've heard this week in national news and in the local press about cases of scarlet fever and strep A and how it can be very serious. Therefore, tonight's first piece comes from TV doctor Dr. Ranj Singh, who has recorded a video for the Department of Health and Social Care, telling us all about strep A.
Hi everyone, lots of you will have heard of something called Group A strep. It's all over the news at the moment and it's caused a great deal of worry and anxiety, especially amongst parents and carers. So I thought I'd do a very simple and quick explainer of what you need to know. Now there are lots of information videos online, especially on social media, so please feel free to have a look at those. But if you want more information, you can go to the NHS website or speak to a healthcare professional if you're worried. So, what is Group A strep? Group A strep is a common type of bacteria and it can affect both children and adults. In fact, it's carried naturally by around 1 in 5 children in the throat or on the skin, and it doesn't always cause a problem. Sometimes it can cause an infection, usually infections of the throat like scarlet fever and tonsillitis in children, or of the skin like cellulitis and impetigo. Most of these are mild and treatable. Now we are seeing a lot more cases of scarlet fever than we usually would do at the moment, And symptoms include a temperature, a sore throat, a red tongue, a rash of lots of little spots that feel like sandpaper when you touch them. These spots can be red in appearance, but not always, especially if you've got darker skin. So if you Google scarlet fever rash, you'll see examples in different skin tones. It can give you swollen glands in the neck, it can make you feel generally unwell, and later on in the illness, you may get peeling of the skins of the hands and feet. Occasionally, the bacteria can get into the bloodstream or other parts of the body, like the lungs, and cause serious illness like sepsis. Now, this is what we call invasive group A strep, and what we are seeing lots of news reports about at the moment. This complication is rare, but because we're seeing a lot more cases of group A strep infection, we are seeing more complications than we normally would do, and sadly, a small number of children have died. This is why we'd like parents and carers to be extra mindful right now. If you want to know the signs of serious illness and sepsis in children to look out for, then just go to the NHS website, where there are some really good explanations and videos of what to keep an eye out for. If your child has any signs of serious illness or sepsis, it's important that you get medical help straight away. If you have group A strep infection, like scarlet fever for instance, you will usually be given antibiotics such as penicillin. This is to reduce the chances of those complications and reduce the chances of passing it on to other people. Now, penicillin can be really tricky for kids to take because it doesn't taste very nice. So I usually recommend mixing it in something like a small amount of jam. Most children with scarlet fever will be absolutely fine. They can usually go back to school after 24 hours of antibiotics, or if they haven't had them, they would have to wait at least 2 weeks. That's because we don't want them passing it on to other people. Not every child with a fever and sore throat needs antibiotics, and that's really important to remember. There are lots of other germs, including viruses, going round that will cause these symptoms. However, if you are worried and your child isn't getting better, then please speak to a healthcare professional. All of this information is also available on the nhs.uk website.
There we go. Thank you very much to Dr. Ranj for that. And as he says, lots of information on the NHS website, www.nhs.uk, including lots of pictures of those rashes. So if you're worried about any rashes that your children might have, go on to nhs.uk, search for strep A or scarlet fever and pictures, and you will find lots on there and lots of good advice as well. So something to watch out for in the weeks ahead. It's certainly increased in Weymouth, and certainly a number of the schools have got cases of scarlet fever and a few cases of strep A as well. But as Dr. Ranj said there, if you get antibiotics, you can actually get back to school within 24 hours or after 24 hours and actually carry on, and it's no risk of passing it around. So that's what everybody's recommended to do. Now, our second story tonight, we're going to hear from Jeff Thomas from All Saints Church, talking about some of the Christmas concerts and carol concerts coming up in Wyke, Regis next weekend. And there is a bit of a choice, so there's something for everyone. So here we go over to Jeff, who I spoke to earlier today. So good afternoon, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in the church in Wyke, Regis in the run-up to Christmas.
Well, Gary, there's so much happening that it's quite difficult to pin down a few things. But I'll tell you what's happening this coming weekend, shall I? Because we start on Friday night, that's Friday the 16th, with a concert involving our old friends Weymouth Concert Brass. That's here at All Saints, starting at 7:30. That's 7:30, and it's a free concert. So entrance is totally free. There will be a cash bar. We like to enjoy ourselves at these events, and there will be a retiring collection for the Nest community shop, which I'll say a few words about as well, because they are very much our partner charity this Christmas. So the Nest is quite a new project in Weymouth, but it's a very exciting one. It's a community shop in the Abbotsbury Road, serving those who might be struggling to afford the basics in terms of food for this Christmas. And we are going to do our bit to support it by every penny that we raise at that concert on Friday will be going straight to the Nest. So that's Friday night, and then on Saturday morning we've got our regular Saturday morning coffee morning at 10 o'clock, and I guess as we're close to Christmas there'll be a definite Christmas theme to it, but come along to that and enjoy tea, coffee, a cake and just a bit of chat and companionship on Saturday morning. And then following that on Sunday night we've got our sort of more traditional 9 lessons and carols service. That's again here in All Saints Church. It starts at 6 o'clock and it'll follow the format of, well, I'm sure most people are familiar with the 9 lessons and carols format of readings followed by carols. Again, anyone can come along and take part and have a jolly good sing of some old favourites. So that's what's happening this weekend in All Saints Church.
So the message is there's something for everybody this Christmas. Come along and join in.
I think there is, and I didn't say it, but even at the concert on Friday there'll be plenty of opportunity to sing as well. So if what you like to do at Christmas is sing, then come along on Friday and on Sunday.
Thank you very much there, Jeff Thomas from All Saints Church. And also to say on the Monday evening there are the carols in Wyke Square. I think they start at 7:15. So hopefully it will be a dry evening, albeit probably cold, so wrap up warm and come along and enjoy carols around the Christmas tree in Wyke Square as well. So lots of carol singing in Wyke next weekend. Now, going back to last weekend, there was a steampunk Christmas weekend in Weymouth, and there was events going on throughout the town and at the Noath Fort. Our friends over at We Are Weymouth have put together some video of the steampunk Christmas in Weymouth, and I found it quite interesting looking at all the different costumes and things, and I thought that you might like me to share it with you now. So courtesy of We Are Weymouth, here is Weymouth's steampunk Christmas from last weekend. There we go. That was Steampunk Christmas in Weymouth last weekend. Weren't there some fantastic costumes there that people have made a lot of effort putting together? And I did like the sleigh with the horse on the trolley there. So some people take this very seriously, but certainly livens up the town, doesn't it, when we have these sorts of events in Weymouth? Now it's that time in the programme where we go over to regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview. And let's see what Andrew's got for us this week.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. Last week, the new Christmas action comedy film that I've been talking about for some time, Violent Night, was released in cinemas and I went to go check it out. For those who don't know, Violent Night stars David Harbour, best known for his roles in Stranger Things and Black Widow, as a disillusioned Santa Claus who comes to the aid of a little girl when her wealthy family's home gets taken over by a paramilitary group. The film comes from acclaimed action filmmaker David Leitch, who acts as a producer on the film, after doing the same on acclaimed action films such as John Wick and Nobody, which come from the same production company. Now, I found that this film is a fun little Christmas adventure that gives us all the heartfelt beats of a dramatic Christmas movie, with all the violence that we've come to expect from many films involving David Leitch. David Harbour is also really great in the leading role by adding complexity to his character and enabling us to see things from his point of view, with all the other actors making this film a fun experience. It might not be high art, but it's still an enjoyable 4 stars out of 5 thrill ride. The producers are currently in discussions with the studios and distributors to get a sequel greenlit. So that's a developing story. Paramount Pictures UK have announced a very late stocking filler for that special horror fan in your life. How late? Well, Paramount Pictures UK have announced a Boxing Day release date for the surprise sleeper hit horror film Smile to arrive on home video. The film stars Kevin Bacon's daughter, Sosie Bacon, as a therapist who witnesses the bizarre suicide of her patient, then goes through a series of increasingly disturbing experiences which she believes are supernatural. The film was a surprise hit at the box office, grossing $216 million worldwide. It has become the highest grossing R-rated, so like 15 and 18 rating horror film worldwide during the pandemic era, and was a success more or less with critics, scoring a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film is out on December 26th on DVD, Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD, with HMV having an exclusive 4K Ultra HD Steelbook release of the film. I plan on getting the Blu-ray as soon as possible after the release date, and checking it out, so stay tuned in the new year for a review of that. The blue carpet world premiere of Avatar: The Way of Water was this week in London, and the film has already begun to take the internet by storm. The film is the first of 4 sequels to the biggest film of all time, Avatar, and takes place over a decade after the last film. The film once again uses groundbreaking visual effects technology to tell the vast story of the alien moon Pandora and its Na'vi inhabitants. The film's 192-minute runtime has received criticism from audiences when it was announced, but the reactions to the film from the world premiere have been largely positive, with even legendary fantasy filmmaker Guillermo del Toro labeling the film a staggering achievement with majestic visuals and emotions on an epic scale. The film is in cinemas next Friday and will feature a vast majority of showings in 3D, a first for any movie in years after the 3D movie craze died out in the mid-2010s. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will have more film and TV news. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew. And if you're going to see that Avatar sequel, 3 hours, 12 minutes. I think you need to take a comfortable cushion with you, perhaps a cup of coffee and some snacks, because that's a fairly long movie to sit through. I know that I wouldn't survive 3 hours. 12 minutes, I'm one of these people that as soon as I sit down in a comfy chair in the cinema, I really struggle to stay awake, although I used to love the cinema. But as soon as I'm in a comfy chair in the dark, that's me gone, I'm afraid. So I tend to watch movies when they come out online and watch them at home. Anyway, it's time in the programme now to go over to the Met Office and see what's in store this weekend. I think we've probably got a pretty good idea. This week we are joined from the Met Office by Jonathan Vaultry. Here we go, over to Jonathan.
Hello there. The cold theme continues as we move into the weekend, and for some of us it has started on a wintry note. If we look at the precipitation type, we can see sleet and snow pushing into Aberdeenshire, also reports in Edinburgh, another band pushing into the Liverpool Bay area, Manchester, northern areas of Wales, southwest England, also seeing some flakes of snow as we started off Saturday. These will continue as we move throughout the afternoon, so further wintry showers for these northern and western areas. Central and southern areas of England getting away with a drier and brighter afternoon. There could still be a few fog patches stubborn to clear. Temperatures will not be climbing too high, though many areas struggling to see higher than low single figures. We could see 5s or 6s in the far north and far south, generally near coastal locations, but for most of us it's going to be a chilly one, and certainly we'll need to be wrapping up warm as we head outside. Into Saturday evening, any areas that have seen those clearer skies could certainly see the fog patches returning once again. Meanwhile, the showers continue across the north and the west, and those could lead to some icy stretches where the rain and sleet falls on frozen surfaces. So do just take care if you're travelling out and about. Temperatures overnight will be plummeting. Towns and cities already dropping into minus figures, but rural locations could certainly be even lower than this. We reached minus 9.2 across areas of Scotland last night, and we could certainly be seeing similar figures into Saturday night as well. So a cold and frosty start for all of us into Sunday. Some of this freezing fog across central and eastern areas could be slow to clear, persisting for a fair amount of the day. The showers tending to ease off a bit more across western England and Wales, but a steady stream still continuing in the far north. Temperatures will be struggling once again on Sunday. Many of us, again, in low single figures. Where that freezing fog persists, we might not even see higher than 0 degrees Celsius. Still some sunshine to help things a bit across Northern Ireland, areas of Scotland and into northern England. As we move into Sunday evening, we just need to focus on a feature in the far south east. Some model ones want to push that into Kent, Sussex, even London, maybe Essex, and there is the risk of some snow falling later on into the evening and during the overnight period. Still some uncertainty in regards to this, but we will keep you up to date with all of that and if any disruption is possible over the course of that Sunday evening and into the start of Monday. So do keep up to date with the forecast and all of our latest warnings. You can do that online and following us on social media, and we'll see you again here soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, Jonathan, and as we can see it's certainly going to be cold and possibility of wintry showers. Let's have a look at our local forecast for the week ahead. As we can see, temperatures not getting too warm at all. Basically going to be dry and sunny, but very, very cold. And just watch out for that risk of wintry showers. Not too sure whether we'll get any, but it's always very unpredictable here down on the south coast anyway. And weather forecasts aren't always correct, but be prepared. That's the motto. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a white Christmas. Now, moving to our What's On. Weymouth Pavilion, of course, we are in that pantomime season, and the pantomime starts today and runs through to the 2nd of January. So do, if you enjoy pantomime theatre, do go and see Sleeping Beauty at Weymouth Pavilion. Other shows coming up, 6th of January, the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra New Year Viennese Gala. 15th of January, Harry Hill, Pedigree Fun. 22nd of January, Sunday Night Comedy with Jade Admonson. Box office online at weymouthpavilion.com or on the telephone 01305 783 225. Now, the No Fork continues its Christmas activities tomorrow and next weekend, the 17th and 18th, with the mischievous elves being back. So there's some ultimate game of hide and seek going on there, plus Christmas crafts and other Christmas fun. Now, Arts Reach have got something special going on at the moment. In fact, they've got two special things going on at the moment. One is the Scrooge Diaries. This is the Christmas Carol story. In this revelatory exclusive, Ebenezer Scrooge opens his diary to expose the awful truth about Tiny Tim, the Fizzywigs, Jacob Marley, and the distinguishing, jolly, glutinous, consumer-driven ghost of Christmas present, as he reveals the truth behind A Christmas Carol and the vengeful, slanderous, upstart author of the novel. Following a successful tour of Old Herbaceous, PMAC Productions returns to Dorset for a festive tour of this acclaimed show. Now, it's on all over next weekend. 16th of December in Martinstown at 7:30, 17th of December at Hinton Martel, and 18th of December 4 p.m. at Studland. So, nearest one to us is Martinstown on Friday night. Details on the Arts Reach website. Now, another offering for you from Arts Reach. They do all sorts of different things in different ways, and this one is A Christmas Carol Online by David Min, and it's free. It's a festive treat adapted by David Min specifically for your online enjoyment. A Christmas Carol was first devised and performed in 2017 by veteran Cornish actor and founder member of Knee-High, David Min, and director Simon Harvey. A Christmas Carol is David's second piece of work by Charles Dickens, and the show has toured nationally every December since. Back in 2020, when live performances were not possible, Arts Reach were thrilled to work with David and Paget Productions to bring this festive show of life online. Now, whilst David is performing A Christmas Carol live on stage in Cornwall and Somerset between the 4th and 23rd of December, Arts Reach are delighted to re-release the film over the Christmas period for you to enjoy at home. So, it's suitable for those 9+. Its running time is 80 minutes. It's free and you can watch it in your own home. So just go along to the Arts Reach website where you can fill in the details and get the link to watch that anytime between now and just before Christmas. Now, what else we got coming up? As Jeff told us in the piece earlier, Friday, 16th of December, that's next Friday, 7:30, All Saints Church, Wyke, Weymouth Concert Brass Christmas concert. Go along, enjoy a sing-along. It's free of charge. There's a paid-for bar, and it's donations afterwards to the Nest. Sunday the 18th of December, traditional carol service of 9 lessons and carols at 6 p.m. in church. And on Monday night in White Square, 7:15, Christmas carols around the Christmas tree. Also in Wyke, church services tomorrow, 8 o'clock at All Saints Church, 9:30 at All Saints Church, and 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Church, Lane House. Tonight, of course, 7:30 is our quiz. All are welcome to join that. It's free, it's family friendly, and anyone is welcome. Few Christmas questions coming up in the quiz this week. And we will be continuing the quiz all over the Christmas season as well. And a Year Gardening December episode with Clive Gray is going out tomorrow at 4 o'clock and repeated on Friday at 7. So that's the What's On Now. Looking at traffic and travel this week. Of course, rail services, you've got to be careful in the run up to Christmas with those strikes. Do look out for that. This weekend, though, there is an amended service on all those amended services on all of those services to Waterloo, and also those services that go through Southampton are also all amended this weekend. Now, looking at major roadworks in the coming week, these are ones that are likely to cause disruption, so with traffic lights, etc. Radipole Lane, Buxton Road, Lanehouse Rocks Road, Westway Road, Southfield Avenue, Green Hill, Preston Road, and Park Estate Road on Portland. There we go. That brings us to the end of this week's programme. Of course, if you're doing anything over the Christmas period that you want to let people know about, if you've got any stories, any fundraising activities, or any other news, drop us a line during the week. news@wykeregis.tv. If we can come out and talk to you and report back on what you're up to, we would like to do that. And other than that, all I can suggest this weekend is wrap up warm, stay inside. If you enjoy the football, look at the football. If not, join us for the quiz tonight. And have a safe week ahead. And we look forward to being back with you at 6 o'clock next Saturday. Good night from me.